Look at that beautiful Columbus, Ohio weather in February. Don't you just love it? Isn't it wonderful? It's Brendan here. So today, here's what we're gonna try to do. I'm going to try to hit as many stores as possible to find in between $500 and $600 worth of good inventory. The key here is I'm not going to spend more than $75 to hit it. So this could end up being a total disaster, or I could strike gold, who knows. I'm gonna stay out as long as humanly possible to source these items, and then we'll take a look at them at the end, hopefully not at 11 o'clock at night, and we'll see what we found. So I'm headed to the first store right now. I'm actually a little bit early. I gotta go to the post office and drop off some of the stuff that sold last night. So it's around 8:15 right now. The stores start to open at 9, so let's get started. All right, first spot, shoes. You know how we do it. Looking a little thin over in like the men's shoes section here. A lot of this stuff I have seen before because I go to these stores so frequently, but condition issues galore. Prices were outrageous for some of them. I mean, I just did not see anything in this particular area that looked good. Even before I started recording, I had to run over to the electronics section and scoop a few things because there was another reseller in there at the time. As you can see, those were Timberlands I just put down. They were cracked on the interior when I took a double take there, so those were not sellable. Cleats, not into them. Some Saucony, I don't know how you pronounce that brand. Was up there. It's just prices were not in line with what I'm looking for, but yeah, I had a few things in my cart here, and I'll be showing you those in a second. Some North Face shoes here. I'm not really into North Face shoes. They would have been $4. Those look nice. I just felt like passing on them. Didn't even really want to run the comps. Nothing over here in the men's section. So hopefully when we get over to the women's, you see something a little more desirable, because yeah, it was a sort of a dud here in this spot. And we head over to it's like a hybrid, not electronics, not exactly hard goods, I don't know, like Accords, just a smorgasbord of random stuff. This was a binding machine. This thing here, they wanted $20 for it. Huge, would be a ton to ship. You got to test it. Too much for me to deal with right now. It's an electronic typewriter right there, Smith Krone, I believe. Passed on that, even though I just sold one of those yesterday. Not the same model, but Guitar Hero guitar, missing the back. They wanted $7.99 for it. I could probably get $25. Hard pass on that, especially when it's missing the battery backing. And the rest of this is just a bunch of junk. So nothing really here sellable. Just doing a double take to make sure I didn't miss anything, and digging into the flat irons, hair curlers, hair dryers. Nothing there. Nothing exciting. Over in the women's section, a little bit more exciting. There's a pair that I scooped that is not in the video that I'll talk about towards the end of this little clip here, but as you can see, I found some Hokas. These are Arahi 3s, $5.99 tag on there. Soles look good, insoles look good. Uppers are in decent condition. I'll probably wash them. Grab the other shoe, throw those in the cart. That's the stuff that butters the bread, ladies and gentlemen. So that was a good find. Not much else. It's hard to look through the shoes. Here's a pair of Reeboks. When they're this messed up, like, it's hard to go through that stuff, but like Reebok, if it's not CrossFit, I'm passing on it these days. There could have been value in those Reebok Classics. They were clean, but I don't particularly care for white shoes, although it's funny that I got a pair of white Nike Shox men's that I did pick up that you'll see towards the end of this video that do have value in them. So, but generally I don't like to pick up white. Too hard to clean, and they, all other things considered, not a ton of value. Here's a pair of Nike KDs, torn up on the side. Not interested in those either. And the rest, just an absolute mess of junk. There's no other way to put it. But go through everything with a fine-tooth comb, or as fine of a tooth comb as you can. Sometimes when it's this messy, it's overwhelming, and you don't want to look at any of it. But you have to do a little bit of digging, and sometimes you find some gems. These looked like they were nice. I didn't bother looking them up. I don't know what that brand was. These J41s, I ended up putting them in the cart, and after running the comparables in the app, I put them right back on the shelf. I didn't see a decent comparable sale over $20, $25 into the $30 range, which is where I would rather be price-wise for what I'm trying to achieve. So those went in the cart, but they came right back out, so I did not purchase those. Boots, random shoes, mall brand stuff. Nothing exciting. Pair of Harley boots that were not on film here, that were behind me that I saw, where the heel was literally falling off, so those were a no-go. These Coach I put in the cart, but I'm going to put a picture up on the screen after I took a closer look at them. Condition-wise, they were unacceptable, so I put them back on the shelf, passed on those. Those were good-looking Nikes, but not enough value for me to get interested in, and that's it for that section there. So did find a couple of pairs of shoes that I'm happy with, and then, you know, you move on to the next spot. Okay, so I just got out of the first location. It's about 9:15, excuse me, 10:15. So I spent an hour and 15 minutes in that store. I ended up putting those Coach shoes back. They had condition issues, so those were a no-go. I passed up on a few other things, and I had to get a little bit aggressive because there were some other resellers in there, and you have to be quick when that happens. So I shopped the carts as they were coming out, got a few things that look good, and, you know, at the end of the video we'll take a look at everything. But for now I am off to the second location, so let's see what happens. See you in a minute. All right, so here we are in the second location, their electronics section. It's a very small store, so they don't have a ton of stuff. They pack it in. I mean, they get a lot of stuff in a small amount of space here, but crock pots galore, quesadilla makers galore, coffee makers galore. I mean, basically the same stuff you see over and over again at thrift stores. Couldn't tell what that was, but it didn't look like anything that I was interested in at the time. Making my first pass through there, so, and it's not that there's not value in crock pots, not what I'm looking for, that's for sure. It's not slow enough to be able to have to scan that stuff. So taking another quick kind of cursory glance here. Look for chrome toasters, especially Dualit. That was not that brand. These earphones here, Caliphones, they have like maybe $5 to $10 resale value. Wasn't interested in those at all. I don't really even know what that was that I just picked up there. Just checking everything to make sure I've covered all my bases here on this particular shelf. But a lot of off-brand type of stuff that really doesn't have any value. I feel like I should have looked this skill item up. I don't even know what it is, just some type of drill. But I did, and I passed it up. The first section I hit, so I wanted to get to some of the other stuff, but there could have been value there. Let me know if you know something I don't, because I can always go back if it is still there. But again, looking for anything I can find in this section. Some DVD-R, CDs. I think it was used. I think there were a few missing in there, so passed on those, even if it was full, I may have passed on them anyway. Not really into that type of media, although it does serve its purpose still, and I think there is still sort of a market for that stuff. So maybe it was not smart to pass it up. In the used condition, oh, hey buddy, how's it going? This is one of the volunteers putting stuff away. This is like a random knick-knack section of this store. It's the hodgepodge of stuff, candles, home decor. There's no real rhyme or reason for most of the stuff that's on the shelves. But again, this particular location is kind of pressed for space, so they've got to like throw a bunch of stuff in a small area. But as I look, I don't really see anything quite yet. And you really have to kind of dig, because there's a lot of stuff packed in on these small shelves, but you know, all sorts of items that just they don't have, they're not conducive to my business model. Some of it may have value, and you guys might see something here that was worth something to you, but I was shooting for, you know, a specific set of numbers. So a lot of the stuff I just pass on. I do, however, find something interesting here. Looks like a little ornament. First I always check like hand thrown mugs, Always check those. Then I see this thing here, a little Disney store ornament type thing. Looks like Alice in Wonderland. Has some package damage. That looked interesting, so I threw that in the cart and kept going on my way. I do the research after I was done recording the video here, so I make my way through the rest of this shelf, through the rest of these shelves, and see if I can score something good. See, there's some Avon perfume bottles, shaving cream bottles. None of them have any value, at least not the ones that were on that particular shelf right there. No real interesting home decor to speak of at the end of the racks here, so did find that one thing, and that will be an interesting thing to bring up at the end of the video here. Checking to see if these dolls are something that I should take a closer look at, but yeah, just a bunch of junk, and that's what you get when you go into these thrift stores. All right, I had to stop home for a quick lunch, box of stuff. We'll go over all of this here in a little bit, but I didn't pack my lunch today, so I've got to go home and eat. I'm actually home already, and I was in that store for just about an hour, so with 2 hours and 15 minutes total sourcing time right now. Let me eat, and then I'm gonna head back out and we'll do it all over again. Yeah, I was not filming in that third store. So I went to the third store. The place was like infested with human beings. It was packed. It was like a labyrinth that you would guarantee to get stuck in. It was impossible to move around. Whoa. Anyway, I did pick up a few items. Let's go over everything I grabbed today. I'm done sourcing 3 stores. We'll calculate the time I spent and do all the numbers at the end, but let's take a look at what I got. Okay, so let's take a look at the stuff from the haul here. First, Nike Shox. You guys know how I feel about Nike Shox by now. These are not in fabulous condition, but they're hard to find and they're still desirable. So I paid $5.99 for these. Style number on this is 501524. I'm gonna try to, even in the condition they're in, I'm gonna try to get 40 bucks for these ones. So there's that. Okay, second one is a Zojirushi bread maker. Now I'm going to take this thing apart and part it out because the part out value I think is higher than the actual machine, and then I don't really have to worry about if the thing works or not. So the model number here, I'm gonna try to get this for you, BBCC-S15. I think I can get 25 bucks for that little piece at the bottom there. I can get maybe 25 to 30 for the actual bread pan. Get money for the lid. Face plate here I'm going to take off, so that's what we're going to do with that. And you can see there I paid $4.99 for this item here. All right, next thing is this old, you see the box is a little bit ripped here, but this is a Disney store, Tiny Kingdom, Alice in Wonderland, White Rabbit ornament. I'm not sure if it's an ornament or not. I don't know. It's brand new in the package there. I don't know if it's, it just says it's a decorative toy from 1951. I mean, I don't know if it's that old, but this looks like it came from Japan. So the comps on this one, I think I can probably get maybe $30. I don't know if having this package damaged will affect the value or not, but 25 to 30 bucks for that should be okay. And I paid $1.99 for that guy. Another bread and butter item, Hoka. These are Arahi 3 women's, and the size on that is 8.5. The soles are in good enough condition to be able to command maybe $35 for that. I may even throw these in the wash just to tidy them up a little bit. Same thing with the Shox here. I might do that, but like I said, 35 bucks. I paid $5.99 for these. Hoka bread and butter, easy stuff. For some reason, I keep finding Zojirushi items in the thrift stores these days. So here is an actual rice cooker. The model number on this one is NRC10. There have been a couple sold in the last 90 days. There's one currently listed, I think for $55 free shipping. I'll do mine for $45 with shipping. Buyer pays shipping there. I plugged it in the store. Both functions work. This has to be cleaned. It's not in beautiful condition. Same with the bread warmer, the bread maker. It needs to be cleaned out a little bit, but it powered up. $5.99. I should get $45 for that. Okay, this guy here looks like the Winnie the Pooh owl, and The tag is kind of an older tag. This is not a huge item here, but it was only 99 cents. What's this tag here? See the Disney store right there. The other side is there. I think I can get from $12 to $14 for this guy. Now he does have a little bit, it looks like maybe a little bit of a lipstick stain right there. I'm not quite sure what that is. But I'll wash that out, and then we'll get him listed. Again, plush, list it and forget it. And then when it sells, it sells. Okay, next item was a bag of electronics. First is a Sony power cord. Model number is ACL15A. I think I can get $10 for this. No big deal. But I only paid $2.99 for the entire bag. So 10 bucks out of that. And then I'm thinking for the Logitech, this is I forget what it is, maybe VX Performance. I'll put the picture up in there so that you can see for sure. But wireless mouse, this needs a receiver with it. It does not obviously come with it. It wasn't in the bag. Without the receiver, I think I can get $20 for this mouse here. So 20 for that, 10 for this guy. And I'm pretty sure that this Pro HT wired optical mouse is going to end up in the garbage because there is no value for this that I can find on the internet. So into the trash it goes, or maybe I'll hold on to it in case I get angry one night at Fortnite and destroy the mouse that I'm using, and we have a backup. Okay, this is a game that I've never seen or heard of. Lollipop Chainsaw, Xbox 360. Obviously a little Harley Quinn flavor to it. Game is in there, manual's in there. I don't anticipate getting more than in between $10 and $15 for this game, but interesting, and I only paid $1.99 in the store that raised their price for their digital media to $2.99. So way to be consistent, Goodwill. Anyway, easy sale. A lot more sales than there are listings for this, so it's as good as sold. Next item here is iPad Air 2 smart case. As you can see, I paid $5.99 for it. I was reluctant to pay that because it does not look new based on like the scratches on the cover here, but on the back you can see it's unopened. So it's brand new on the inside. I'm gonna shoot for $30 for this, somewhere around there. So $30 on 6, I'm not entirely excited about, but when you tally up everything I've gotten today, it looks a lot better than that. But this will be another easy sale, so can't really complain. This was on a cart. It was unmarked, and it is a vintage Craftsman hatchet axe. Let me see if you can see where it says Craftsman. I forget where it is. You can kind of see it right there, Craftsman. I mean, it's obviously been used. It's not in pristine condition, but the fact that it is old, people still use these and look for these, and it has the leather protective case included with it. I'm gonna shoot for $30 for this. And this again is not, I'm not guessing, this is just based on comparable sales that have happened recently. So handle's in good shape. Still a market for it, 30 bucks, and I paid $2.99 for this. Okay, and the last item here is an Epson GT S50 printer. Now, the last one in working conditions sold for $79.99, so maybe that's what I'll shoot for, $80. It powered up in the store. I do not know if this thing works yet. So I've got to do a little bit of work, plug it into the computer, download the driver, and then run the paper through it and see if it works. If it does, in between $80 and $100 is not unreasonable for this item. And I paid $8.98 for that. So I'm gonna shut this off. We'll go to the computer and then we will tally all of this up and see how I did. All right, so I hope you enjoyed that little thrift run there. Now, could I have gone the rest of the day? Probably. Right now, as I'm recording this, it's almost 5 p.m., but I stopped a few hours ago. So The first store, I spent an hour and 15 minutes in sourcing. The second store, I spent an hour, and then the third store, 30 minutes. So all in all, it was just under 3 full hours. Now, does that make a day's work? Absolutely not, no. We still have to photograph, we still have to list, and I'm not sure I'll get to all of that today. But generally speaking, I'm pretty happy about the stuff that I found in the return that I think I'm going to get. So the numbers here, I'm gonna say conservatively around $450 to $500, and that all hinges on if I can get max part out value for the bread maker. So I think I can get $75 to $100, maybe even more, if I really dissect that machine and get into like the motor parts, pull the guts out of it, and then list those parts in addition to just the bread pan and the face plate and all that other stuff. So it really depends, but I'm gonna say conservatively $400 to $420 to $450. That's 12 items that I found in total, and I spent $48.88. So that's a pretty good return on the items that I found and the time that I spent. So we'll get those listed in a couple of days, and not only does it hinge on the bread maker, but the Epson needs to work as well. So I didn't check to see if parts were something that people were looking for regularly on eBay. So in the event that doesn't work, that's a possibility too. The store that I bought it at takes returns, so I could return it and the numbers could change. But for 3 hours of work to find $400 to $500 worth of stuff, even though I didn't meet my spend of $75, it appears as though had I done that, I would have met the goal pretty easily with plenty of time left in the day. So what turned into a pretty quick day of sourcing, I'm totally satisfied with. So anyway, if you liked what you saw, please make sure you subscribe, hit the like button, comment, let me know how all that goes, and we'll see you in the next video.